Good morning beautiful people all over the world. Welcome back again here in my YouTube channel, Maverick Cruz Vlog. Sa pagpapatuloy natin sa pagtuklas tungkol sa kasaysayan ng Iloilo City ating tunghayan at alamin dito sa ikatatlong bahagi ng kwento. At upang lubos ninyo maunawaan ang kasaysayan ay aking iminumungkahing panoorin ninyo ang una at ikalawang bahagi ng video na ito na naka-upload na dito sa aking channel.
Under the auspices of the Presbyterian Church in the United States in 1901, the Sabine Haynes Memorial Union Mission Hospital was established by American missionary Dr. Joseph Andrew Hall and his wife Jane Russell Hall. The hospital is also the first hospital for soldiers and the constabulary, predecessor of the Philippine National Police, during the American colonial regime in the country. The hospital pioneered the nursing education in the country through the establishment of the Union Mission Hospital Training School for Nurses, the first nursing school in the Philippines. Later, the hospital was handed over to the Protestant Baptists. In 1931, the Union Mission Hospital moved to its present site in a property bought by the Baptists. Thus a year later in 1932, the hospital changed its name to Iloilo Mission Hospital along with its nursing school. The school was later transferred and became an organic academic unit of the Central Philippine University, the present-day Central Philippine University College of Nursing. Iloilo Mission Hospital has over the years associated with Central Philippine University as its University Hospital, CPU Iloilo Mission Hospital. Up to the present, the various evangelical Protestant denominations, composing around 2.8% of the Filipinos, and their educational institutions also serve Catholic students in Iloilo, who make up 83% of the population. Seizure of friar lands and parishes and the above-mentioned Protestant activities gave the American and Filipino public an impression of an anti-Catholic stance of the U.S. occupation of the islands during the first years of the American rule. The Taft Commission, the sole legislative body of the American government for the Philippines then known as the Philippine Islands under the sovereign control of the United States while still under the Philippine-American War, were attacked by Catholic press in New York for anti-Catholic bigotry. Soon, pressures from influential Catholics in the United States, and also in Ireland caused President Theodore Roosevelt to appoint a Catholic in the Commission to defend Catholic interest in the Philippines. Influential Catholics in Manila followed suit. Worries about Catholic vote in national elections moved the civil government to send the Commission to the Vatican to negotiate exploring workable solutions to the Catholic question in the newly acquired territory. Before coming to Rome, the head of the commission personally visited the Cardinal Archbishop of Baltimore. Piece by piece, acceptable solutions were employed. In 1902, the President of the United States of America commissioned two American Augustinian friars to pioneer a movement to send American priests out to the Philippines to replace the Spanish friars, who diminished in number, 1,013 in 1898 to 246 in 1903. Due to normal loss of personnel due to death or retirement, death caused by native hostilities, or voluntary return to Spain. Old Spanish-era structure of Colegio de San Agustin, the present-day University of San Agustin. It was built to counter Protestantism by Spanish Roman Catholic Augustinian friars through their American confreres. In Iloilo, American Catholics countered the Protestant American missions and the American Catholic bishops, like Frederick Rooker, Dennis Joseph Dougherty, and James McCloskey, were named for the Roman Catholic See of Haro in Iloilo City. These bishops sustained the educational achievements of the Spanish friars by bringing in American and European Catholic missionaries, among whom were the Sisters of Charity of St. Paul, and Augustinian missionary priests. The Augustinians, who were the first to bring the Christian faith in the Philippines as well as in Panay Island, and who built the centuries-old heritage churches in this island, established the Colegio de San Agustin in 1904, which eventually became the only university of the Augustinian order in Asia. During the American regime, their confreres from the United States developed evermore this institution, which later became the first university in Iloilo. The American Catholic bishops also maintained and upgraded the St. Vincent Ferrer Seminary, Established in 1869 as the Colegio Seminario de San Vicente Ferrer, which was the first institution of higher learning in Western Visayas. Despite the Augustinians being Catholics and Baptists being Protestants, they mutually enriched each other through dialogue mainly because Augustinian ideals were the foundations of Protestantism since the first Protestant was Martin Luther and he was a former Augustinian priest himself and the Protestant zeal for reformation from corruption even started some reform in the church itself. Saint Ezekiel Moreno, who was ordained in the minor orders in Haro, Iloilo, had walked the fine line between reform, obedience and leadership since he ministered and walked hand in hand with condemned rebels and criminals in the Iwahig prison and penal farm. He was also obedient to his superiors in the Order of Augustinian Recollects, a reform or recollection movement in the Augustinian order, which took elements from the Protestant Reformation. Saint Ezekiel Moreno also became the leader of a political movement when he became a bishop of Pasto, Colombia. The Visitation of Saint Ezekiel Moreno is a harmonized incarnation of the ancient convivencia in Spain when different religions and kingdoms, pagan, Christian, Jewish and Muslim, lived side by side and struggled to maintain their perspective purity, contested with each other and yet also mutually enriched each other without turning into a mongrelized melting pot of a mixed up and confused morass. Coincidentally, Saint Ezekiel Moreno was ordained in the minor orders in the then Church of Haro, which housed a Virgin Mary statue under the title of Nuestra Señora de la Candelaria de Haro. An image with complex convivencia alluding properties due to the confluence of many symbols from various cultures simultaneously present in the image, but it is likely not earthly of nature and is a pure grace direct from heaven or an image, not carved by human hands, due to its miraculous nature, which was found floating in a river, shifting in weight and growing in size.
The Paul and Ian sisters took charge of St. Paul Hospital, originally owned by the Catholic Diocese of Haro. Bishop Dennis Joseph Dougherty, who later became Cardinal Archbishop of Philadelphia, gave the medical facilities to the sisters. To commemorate the bishop's generosity, the hospital named a more recent section of the facilities after him, the CADMA, Cardinal Dougherty Medical Annex. To meet the growing need to provide nurses for their hospital, the Paulinians also opened a nursing school. Today, this institution has also become a university, St. Paul University Iloilo, and has ever since supplied high-quality healthcare professionals known worldwide for their skills and dedication to work.
During the American colonial occupation, one of the platforms by the colonial government was first to establish and implement a public education system in the islands, and the Thomasites were deployed and commissioned by the American government to teach in the public schools that will be established. The Thomasites tolerated religious freedom, which is one of the foundations of the United States Constitution and legacy to the Philippines, while commissioned and under their tutelage to teach in public schools during the colonial period. Public schools that were established when the Thomasites came to Iloilo are Iloilo Normal School, the present-day West Visayas State University, formally established in 1924 but dates back its founding in 1902 as part of the Philippine Normal School system in the Philippines, the Iloilo National High School, the first public provincial high school in the islands, and Baluarte Elementary School, the first public elementary school in the islands. Commonwealth Act No. 57 was passed in 1936 granting city status to Iloilo. This charter was immediately amended by Commonwealth Act No. 158 some days later to incorporate the municipalities of La Paz and Arevalo as part of the new city's territory. Iloilo regained cityhood status on July 16, 1937, through Commonwealth Act 158. Incorporated as part of Iloilo City were the towns of La Paz and Arevalo and inaugurated on August 25, 1937. The municipality of Haro, on the other hand, was incorporated into Iloilo City some years later by virtue of Commonwealth Act No. 604 August 22, 1940, which amended the city charter of Iloilo to include, into Iloilo City, the municipality of Haro, on the date that the President of the Philippines may set by proclamation. To that effect, President Manuel L. Quezon issued Proclamation No. 663 on January 7, 1941, giving January 16 as the date of Jaro's incorporation into Iloilo City. Sugar's demand was declining, labor unrests in the port area scared the investors away, and the opening of the subport of Pulupandan in Negros Occidental moved the sugar importation closer to the sugar farms. Japanese occupation 1942 hanggang 1945. Central Philippine University's main campus northeastern side aerial view in the 1960s. During the onset of World War II, Central's entire properties on its main campus were heavily destroyed. The war-torn university's main campus was rebuilt after the post-war, resulting for a well-laid campus plan dotted with palm and acacia trees and home to a plethora of century-old colonial American heritage structures built in the early 1900s. By 1942, the Japanese invaded Panay and the economy moved into a standstill. During World War II, Iloilo was controlled by several Japanese battalions. Japan's ultimate goal was to entrench itself deeply into the Philippines so that at the close of the war they could occupy it just as the Spanish and the Americans had years before. When Iloilo was liberated by Filipino and American forces from Japanese military occupation on March 25, 1945, the remnants of these battalions were held in Haro Plaza as a makeshift detention facility. Post-war decline. The war heavily damaged the infrastructure in Iloilo. However, the continuing conflict between the labor unions in the port area, declining sugar economy, and the deteriorating peace and order situation in the countryside, the exodus of Ilonggos to other cities, provinces, regions and islands that offered better opportunities and business. People were moving to other cities such as Bacolod, Cebu, and Manila that led to Iloilo's decline in economic importance in Central Philippines. Rural agricultural areas continued to help the local economy. For years, because of this exodus of investors, Iloilo's economy progressed in a moderate pace. Change slowly came. First came the construction of the fishing port and a new international seaport. One by one, commercial business firms invested in Iloilo, spurring on the city to its eventual recovery. Iloilo became a highly urbanized city on December 22, 1979, by the virtue of Batas Pambansa No. 51. Corollary to this new status, its residents effectively lost their eligibility to vote for provincial officials. 21st century and economic boom. After the opening of the new commercial and business center in Mandurriao district and with the construction of a national highway that traverses this area, big businesses like the SM Supermalls, SM Prime Holdings, Megaworld Corporation, Gaisano Capital, Robinson's Land, Ayala Corporation, and Philinvest poured in huge investments in the city, giving impetus and catalyst toward future progress.
Thank you for watching to all beautiful and amazing people all over the world. See you again to my next video upload. If you are new here in my channel, please don't forget to click like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to click notification bell all for more updates. I'm Maverick Cruz, saying, I love you all of you beautiful and amazing people.